Okay, let's go ahead and start. Have no idea what the next word will be. This is a chat for anyone that wants to listen, and especially for us older folks who might be over 20. How are you today? 2 days before Christmas. I've talked to a lot of people today on the phone, and they had horrible parties. Um, uh, when I say they were invited to parties, um, the food was bad, and they were made to play for 12 sessions of euchre or some other card game. And most of them, these are the people I check on, see how they're doing at night or daytime. Most of the time, they didn't even like euchre. And they certainly didn't want to play 12 sessions of euchre when they didn't know how to play it to start with. Well, of course there was free food. And one girl I was talking to, I say girl, she's 80. One girl I was talking to, in a wheelchair, uh, they went and got her some food, but she said during that whole time, that whole day, they didn't give her any desserts. No pies, no cookies, no cakes, no pudding. They totally forgot to give her anything that she really wanted. And what she did get, she didn't want. It was, how about chicken livers that were cooked too heavy, too hard, and almost having to crunch them up, and burnt chicken. You see, you see why I tend to maybe have made a video about I don't I'm not looking to meet friends anymore. This was a new friend she had that would take her places to get free food, donations from churches that would give them to elderly people or poor people or people that are young that needed it. Well, she took a chance and went to this party for senior citizens, and she could she could barely she could barely stand it. And she told the lady that took her, "I'm not going. Don't ask me next year to go to it." Now, why am I telling you this? Pick your friends. Pick your friends well. See what they like to do and don't like to do. And if they invite you somewhere, check on who's going to be there, how long it's going to last, if they're going to play games, what kind of games they're going to have, and when you can expect, in this case, for it to be over. Just toss that in. That applies to anybody from 15 years old on up to 100. Why waste your time? Why waste your life doing something because someone asked you to? I don't do that anymore. Or if I do, it's so rare it catches me off guard and I find an excuse to leave early. I still, hey, at this young age I'm driving, I'm walking, I'm talking. I even wear a hat. Somebody gave me this yesterday. Hey, I'm serious now. I never asked people, I guess for a month, to subscribe. And I notice no one subscribes. But what you can expect, and I don't subscribe right now. Please don't. I want you to know what you're going to get if you subscribe to my channel. You're going to get more of the same. You're going to get freelance, unedited, humorous, spontaneous things. I'm hoping to entertain you. Or if it's an educational type thing where I'm sort of teaching you something I learned, I hope it helps you too. Now the reason I say this is I noticed I was getting a lot of certain days when I would say, if you like my style, feel free to subscribe. I might get 5 or 10. Now that I've stopped doing that because I thought it was egotistical and narcissistic, nobody subscribed. I gotta tell you this funny story. Someone sent me a wonderful letter that I have mentioned over the last couple videos. It's right here. Show it to you again. I get this card. You see my name on it, don't you? Do you see Madison, Indiana? That's where I live. You see the zip code? Now let's go down here where the return address is. Do you see a return address? There's not. The post office, the local post office, the most local post office put that stamp on there. Now you're saying, okay, well, some people put their return address on the back. You see any? So here comes a brilliant guy that I love him to death because he states it like it is. He says, Jim, you've got a fan. I said this yesterday on the video, I'll say it again. I thought he was talking about himself. This Diet Coke. I thought he was talking about himself, that he's going to be my new fan. Well, I thought about it. I don't sleep very well. Last night, at 7 o'clock, I got to sleep. That was because of the pizza I ate with all the hot pepper on it. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But anyhow, I'll try to remember. What happened is that I thought about it and I thought, he's talking about that girl is my new fan. She sent a one-way Christmas card with no return address. She must have thought it. Out of 18,000 people in my town, 18,000 people in my town, how did the post office find to put the Christmas card? And for you to think, oh, Jim may have made it up. Well, let's open it up. There's the front of it. And let's open it up in the middle, and you can see the handwriting. You see the handwriting. So you see that it was sent from Texas, and I have a new fan, but I don't know that she made me a subscriber. Daggone it, if you're watching me right now, Paula, I want to thank you. I want to thank you 100 times for sending me this card. And it reminds me of a song that was called a horse with no name. I don't know why. I forgot who sang the horse with no name, but when I mentioned it in the earlier video, a person said B.J. Thomas did a really good version of that, but that's not who really did it originally. What was I going to read to you? Paula Taylor. Paula Taylor, thank you. You're loved. You're appreciated. And I'll keep this card forever. I've never seen anything like it. Just put my name on the envelope and see if it gets to me. Try it. Just put your name on there. Put my name on there. Don't put a return address on there, or they may send it back. Just put Jim Wortham, Madison, Indiana. And see if I have a second fan. Well, we act kind of goofy. I call myself Crazy Jimmy. And along with other names, Jim Bob. But I do this because I can't change my personality. I've tried. The school, from first grade on up, I didn't go to kindergarten or daycare or anything that. First grade on up, they tried to change my personality. Let me just tell you this. I deserved to be on the honor roll in high school every year, and I wasn't allowed to be on the honor roll. Honor roll means A and B's on your report card. Do you know it's because I talk too much? I talk too much. That's all I'm going to say. I've been moved out in the hallway with my desk because I talk too much. Well, if the teachers hadn't been so daggone boring, I wouldn't have been talking to my neighbors on the back and right. But if you have teachers that's reading from the book that you read the night before, and you could repeat every word they were going to say, you just as soon talk to a friend on the right or left desk, and then get kicked out in the hall, then kicked out and not be on the honors roll. That's the honest goodness truth. It's the way it was. Worse things happen than that, but we're not going to discuss that tonight. Tonight, this is just a talk. This is just a chat. We're having fun tonight. Any wine? Just filled this thing up with a little bit of wine. It was a Diet Coke, but you know, sometimes you gotta have something a little bit fun, like wine. What kind of wine is this anyhow? It's Burgundy. Burgundy wine. Let me tell you how to live longer. This is all about helping you too. 2 drinks of wine, 2 drinks of any alcoholic beverage. When I say 2 drinks, we're talking about, I don't know if we're talking about an ounce. Okay, let's start with beer. 2 beers or 2 ounces of hard liquor, or do they mean shots of 1.5 ounce to 1.5 ounces of whiskey? And wine, they're talking about, I've heard 6 ounces, I've heard 4 ounces, I've heard more than 6 ounces. I'll never forget something. I gotta tell you this. And this is when I worked in the alcohol and drug field. I Lord have mercy, had groups of people. We do group therapy. Husband and wife usually came together, and other people without husband and wives could bring their girlfriends, boyfriends, but the requirement was bring a significant other to keep you telling the truth. Be sure you stayed on the truth. So this lady says I only have 1 to 2 drinks of wine a night. And you got to understand, I was running an outpatient alcohol and drug treatment center. It's called an IOP. Inpatient means 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Goes on for 3 hours at night. So here we are, and she says, I only drank one drink of wine at night. And her husband says, would you mind telling them how much that one drink is? Well, it wasn't an ounce, it wasn't an ounce and a half. It was a glass of wine a night. And then if she hadn't gotten where she wanted to mentally, she'd have a second drink. That second drink wouldn't be an ounce. It'd be a glass, 8-ounce glass, 12-ounce glass, whatever size she used. So much for alcohol. We folks are right against Christmas, and I used to look forward to Christmas. I really did. The best Christmas I ever had, my parents bought me. It had to have been the best chemistry set you could buy, because when Santa Claus came at midnight, I went to check to see if he already left his gifts, and there was this huge chemistry set. And I went straight down there a little bit after 12, since he had already left. I tell you what, I became a chemist. I went to all the hobby shops around to buy chemicals that I didn't have with the kit. I bought Bunsen burners. I was really into making things change colors and making smells and things like that. At that moment, that's all I can think of right now. But I got into it. It's a shame I made a C in chemistry when I had to take it in high school. I don't think I made a D. I think it was a C. But I can tell you this, I did more chemistry than anybody in my class. And they made A's. And you know why I made a C? Periodic table. Knowing the letters that go with salt, water, H2O's water. I remember it. But for everything, there seemed to be a letters that I had to memorize, and I don't memorize. Uh, I failed things, poems that I had to recite because I get halfway through and lose my train of thought. Now I would know the poems before and after the class, but my mind would go blank. You know, I am shy. I may have mentioned that. You're looking at a guy here that won't ask for help. That's why you're looking at me right now. And you see, I don't have a studio. I don't look that good. I don't present that well. Because I don't ask for help on how to make a good video or how to look good on a video. But I can talk. For you that don't know this, I made my living as a counselor. You're saying, what kind of counselor could you be? Well, after failing several colleges and reinstated in colleges and finally getting through a lot of colleges. When I say getting through a lot of colleges, I'm talking about a bachelor's degree with psychology and sociology, 2 master's degrees, theology and clinical psychology, 2 different universities. This was done with people telling me I couldn't get admitted, but I kept on. That's for a different story. I probably already talked about it, but it's for a different story. I didn't give up, and I call it failing upward. I call it failing upward. Maybe I should put that as a title on one of them. Then I was told that no one would hire me. Oh, no one did for 2 years. So I started my own. Well, 3 places hired me, but I didn't stick with them too long because I got 4 licenses in the healthcare industry. When they were determined, the first one was determined, psychology, clinical psychology was determined to fail me out till I couldn't apply again, but I did pass it on the 3rd one. If you didn't pass it on the 3rd attempt, you didn't get a 4th. From then on, I passed all of them. 4 licenses. I only mention that not to be a braggart, but to let you know I was scared to death. I was shy. The reason I failed is because my mind would go blank before I got finished answering their question. Okay, so I have no idea how many people I have helped get off alcohol and drugs, and how many marriages I've made worse or better. But I will tell you, there's been a lot. Because once I got off and going and got those licenses, I worked for myself. I've been here in Madison for 25 years. I've worked for myself for 25 years. I was director of a huge clinic, and I didn't necessarily like the pressure, so I quit. Try quitting your job with a good salary and insurance and 401k, savings plan. And then, with no money, you start begging for a space to start counseling. Then you contact every insurance company and employee assistance program for an application to fill out to be on a network to where you can get paid. That's what I was doing. That's what I did. Enough of that, because I've mentioned it in other videos. So here we are now. We survived. We've got money. You can tell. You can tell right by looking. We got money. This is a man cave. So I survived. I was going to tell you about my worst night last night. Did I tell you about that? Ate a pizza. No, didn't eat a pizza. I ate something. It had too much hot pepper on it. And to make a long story short, I think I already mentioned it. Didn't get to sleep till 7. Not going to do that again. I did tell you about it. Pepto-Bismol. Having a drink of that. Still took an hour for that to settle in. What else do old men and young men need, and young women and older women need to discuss tonight? How about this? An ending. Be careful who your friends are. Be careful. Not just who you talk with, but be careful of their intent. If they're talking about themselves all the time, no good. If they just want to invite you to the house for a Coke, no. You know where I'm going with this. Get to know the person. Get to know the person. If they're pushy, no. Aggressive, no. Good looking, like me, no. Unless they're like me. If you like this, feel free to hit subscribe. I don't have many subscribed friends. I think I got 300. You're asking, do I need more? No. No. Why would anyone think I'd be like those that have 3,000, 3 million, when I'm just sharing with you my thoughts? Thank you for listening. If you want to subscribe, you might be number 301 or higher. I don't look. I just want to make your day more fun, and I hope I have. You take care now. See you maybe tomorrow. Hey, this hat. Got this from a 90-year-old guy yesterday. I find out I get more views if I wear a hat. What do you think about that? You take care. Have a good Christmas if you don't hear from me before. Okay?